So welcome everybody to this session on multi-screen video measurement. It's a challenge, as we all know, to measure all of the screens with all of the viewing, all of the content, all of the advertising, all over the world in some kind of consistent fashion so that the advertisers and the content makers can understand who viewed what, where, when, and for how long. This afternoon, we're going to see how this challenge is being addressed in a number of different countries across a number of different organizations. We were going to start with Germany and France, Netherlands, some more from Germany and the USA. We're going to see how, from a TV perspective or an online perspective, these challenges are being addressed. And, you know, we talked about the food and drink coma yesterday. This afternoon, we're going to challenge everybody at the end to maybe a little test. You have to remember how many screens are being measured in each country. Are they measuring advertising and content together or separate? Are they doing it for display or video or both? And are they doing it for all age groups? So I urge you to consider those points whilst you're watching the presentations this afternoon. It kind of gets quite confusing. And the other thing to think about, I think from your own local market's perspective, is what's the tipping point when the existing infrastructure, we can see that it's clearly broken down. It's not delivering against the business needs of the organizations that are making and selling content and the organizations that are buying advertising time. Some figures that I've seen fairly recently are anything from 15 to 80% of viewing is being missed in some countries for some different channels. And clearly when we get to that kind of level, we know that our existing infrastructure is broken and we need to quickly figure out either how to fix that infrastructure or move or combine it with some kind of a big data answer. So my time's up. I'm going to quickly introduce the panel and then we'll go from there. We're going to start with Anke from AGF in Germany. That's the TV jig. And then we're going to move on to Mariana from SKO in Netherlands, then Laurent Battais from Mediametrie in France, then Uwe Scheid from AGOF, the online jig in Germany. And then Josh is going to talk about comScore and Kantar's solution, which is more global, but will focus some point on the US. And then Jane from CIMM is going to talk about how we've structured an organization in the US to try to drive competition and more innovation in measurement. Hopefully the slides are going to be all in that order. Fingers crossed. So.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. I've now got the pleasure to lead you through the slides from Germany, from our approach, and hopefully the clicker won't leave me alone, but I'm quite sure we're going to get through. So I'm going to give you an update on the multi-screen measurement approach we do have in Germany. Last year, we already presented something on it, but before I go and get through, I would like just to make some remarks on our organization. The AGF is the German Television Research Association, and I think different, for example, to the US or other countries, it's a jig where we do have, advertisers and agencies are represented in all our bodies, especially in the board, and therefore we do have the basis that all the decisions are made, that they are taking into account the interests of the market. And as the decisions are taken anonymously, we always do have the consensus of the market when we do go further with our developments. With all things we do, we have in mind that our mission is to follow the content. And by content, just, note it down for the question maybe later, we do understand content and advertising. And we would like to measure content and advertising for online video and for video total, so broadcast video for video, irrespective to the time it was received, the place where it was used, and the device, and the way of reception. What we do is we do combine different methodologies in this project. We do combine a technical measurement, which is a census measurement, and we always use a representative panel for video usage measurement. Combining these two tools, we are able to get information on individual data level and to identify structures and demographics, and especially, I think, the holy grail everybody's looking for, usage overlaps. So what we are looking for is one figure for multi-screen usage for TV, PC and laptops, smartphone, tablets, and smart TV. So the way we do it, the core is our TV panel. The TV panel in Germany consists of 10,500 people. We do fuse online video usage data in it. The online video usage data is created by different data sources. So what we do currently have is an online panel run by Nielsen in Germany, which consists of 25,000 individuals. And we are going to set up a mobile panel as well. And additionally to these panels, we do have census measurement as well. And what we do have designed is that the system is open for additional data sources. I don't know, maybe some of you have read our press release on Monday that AGF is going to integrate the services of YouTube in its system. So I think it's the first time that YouTube is going to participate in the JIG system worldwide. And what we do is, so they do participate as well in a panel measurement and in a census measurement. And what they bring in with is that we are going to use another panel, which is panel of GfK. It's a GfK cross-media link panel, which YouTube already uses in Germany. This is one of the additional data sources going to the system. So just to wrap it up, the core is the TV panel. We try to measure as much overlays as possible within one panel, but we have to take into account panel quality and, of course, panelist compliance. We use additional data sources and we ask for the raw data of additional data sources because we have to come to the insight that you cannot do anything, can't do everything on your own because it's going to get too expensive to set up all the panels, so we integrate raw data from other sources in the system. But what is very important for the German market is that all the things are going to happen under the JIG control, where advertisers, agencies, and all market partners are participating in the decision-making process. So methods, data, processing, and metrics are defined in a common sense in the market in Germany. And what we, of course, do is that we do optimize our panel to be a recipient for the new data, for the fusion data. These are little things like, well, redefining the universe, no more TV homes, but homes as a whole. And we try to measure additional devices in the TV panel as well. And last but not least, in Germany, AGF is offering the software to analyze the data, and the software is prepared to analyze the data as well. So in the online video sector, we are bringing together the panel measurement and the census measurement via a process of calibration. We need to do this because the panel always misses either users or usage, so we need to have a process which brings the panel data to the level of the census data, and we do this by weighting and calibration. What we are going to do is that the online panel is weighted to similar external criteria as the TV panel. Then we do define 150, as we call them, calibration units. Calibration units are defined by the publishers. And for example, you got channel A use, which is a calibration unit which is almost similar to what the publishers are selling to the market. And what we do have is we do have information from our panel. So we do know how many stream views we had in a month. We do know how the accumulation curve was created during a month. And we do know the broadest user group, so the reach for the panel. These are the blue signs we have in this graph here. And we also know the number of stream views from the census measurement. And of course, the number of stream views from the census measurement is higher than the number of stream views from the panel. So what we are going to do is that there's an estimation curve is modeled by an external institute, so it's neither GfK nor Nielsen who is doing this calibration process, because we would like to have it well independent from the suppliers delivering the data. And by this, we create a reach value for the target. A target value for the reach, sorry. So hopefully, in a few weeks, we will be behind this status, which we are publishing currently on our website. This is the weekly top 10 and monthly demos, which combine the data from the panel, which delivers us the structure information, and the sensors, which are the total stream views. And to get there where we would like to be, the next step is going to be reach by targets after the calibration process, then to get integrated data for linear TV and browser-based TV, because this is the status we do have right now, which is PC and laptop. We already have set up tests for census measurement for mobile, so we are looking forward to deliver the first data for mobile sensors in the second half of this year. And at the end of the year, we intend to publish the first data from YouTube out of our system. We do not know what data this will be like, but there are going to be the first data at the end of the year from YouTube from this system. And 2016 will be the year where we will finalize the total data integration of online usage for TV, online, mobile, and smart TV. And, well, I think like everybody else in the room, this is what we think what is waiting in 2016 for us right now. Probably more challenges will come. Thank you very much.
Now we have Mariana to talk about the state of the capabilities in Netherlands.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I am Mariana from SKO, and I will give you an update of the multiscreen measurement in the Netherlands. So let me take you the next 9 minutes from the nice Basque country to the Netherlands. If this is working. All right, so let's go. To start with, you can see here all the most important figures of the online TV and video market in the Netherlands, and the TV market as well. Well, I think the most important is the highest internet penetrations in Dutch households. The same goes for the ownership of tablets and smartphones at the individual level. A higher ad spend for TV, still growing, and also an important growing in the ad spend of online video. And this figure I'm showing you is just only for the TV stations. At the same time, TV represents a higher reach. The measured reach at the time is about 80%. The claimed reach that we know from figures from our establishment survey is for online video, ever seen online video on other devices, is just about 10%. So Dutch people watches TV average of 3 hours and 20 minutes per day, and the time shifted viewing is only about 5% from this time. This is time viewing within 7 days. So moving on, I work at the JIC for television audience measurement, the SKO. In 2013, we changed our strategy, and we broadened up the scope of the measurement to all professional video, so not only TV. And that means all kind of video content offered on all kind of devices, online, on tablets, smartphones, and so on, and for all other kinds of video publishers within and outside SKO. So this means naturally participation with other online publishers like Sanoma, who are participating right now in our census data projects. It means also collaborating with the Media Owners Committee for the Internet, as we are building the panel. I will come back later on this. And then something I think it's particularly interesting of the Dutch market, which is the amount of suppliers we work with. This is so for the CIMM panel, but also for the new online panel we are going to build, and the census measurement. So you see there for the online media panel, data integration and online commercial census measuring. We are working with Kantar and with TNS Nipo in the Netherlands. And we are also working with GfK for the reporting of the online video measurement on census, and with comScore for the measurement of census. And well, I think it's important to say that this is also an open market. So if any other company would like to have to enter the SKO reporting, it could be possible because we have a system of certifications to make sure that the reporting really meets all demands from SKO. So the new strategy resulted in a video data, the so-called video data integration model. And I have a short film to show you how it works. It's a hybrid model. Please see.
In the ratings factory, you can see how the different parts of the video total are being measured and merged into a whole. Measuring the video total is a matter of combining dynamic elements to produce a reliable result. Our current TV ratings research plays a crucial role and will continue in its current form. The ratings factory consists of 4 individual steps. Step 1 is measuring census data, the total measurement. By measuring census data, you can find out exactly how many times a particular video was accessed and for how long that video was watched. These measurements take place inside the player that plays the video. There are 3 kinds of census data being measured: online TV and video census data, video that can be requested from a television channel or online publisher at a time of your choosing, linear streaming census data, such as live streams offered by providers, and finally, online commercials census data. These pertain to commercials that are played before, in between, or after the video you requested, like pre-rolls or mid-rolls. In Step 2, we measure who's watching and what the reach of the video is, information that we cannot glean from the census data. That's why we use an online panel in this step. The online panel supplies data about who is watching which video, how often this video is watched, and with whom the respondent watches this video, on any available kind of device within a household. Once Step 1 and 2 have been completed, you know who watches the videos, which videos have been watched, how often these videos have been watched, and for how long these videos have been watched. In Step 3, the results of the online panel and the census data are combined. This results in an online currency and a new kind of rating, the online total. The existing television audience measurements are also part of Step 3, our main source of information about video watching on the TV screen. Television ratings remain crucial. In Step 4, the online ratings data and the TV ratings data are combined. The result of this integration is a complete overview of the whole of cross-platform video use in the Netherlands, the video total.
All right, so this is how the CIMM model works. I just want to comment on 3 aspects of it. The first one is the census measurement. There to say that we are reporting census for online TV since 2008. We are reporting number of streams and playing duration for TV programs for broadcasters who are engaged in the project. We are doing this by measuring this by adding tags in the video players of these broadcasters. And last year we focused on the mobile census measurement, so we have now much more of the mobile app players in the reporting. The focus was also last year on the linear streaming. We have now linear streaming for the web players, for the broadcasters, for the public broadcasters. And the next step is for us the online only, the not broadcasted content, and to introduce this on reporting. Then just a brief note on the online commercials measurement, because we choose another strategy for measuring there. We use the IAV video ad serving template protocol. We insert pixels in the script, in the BAST script, and we do this at the ad management systems on an automatic way. Then my second element where I want to talk about is the online panel. We are building right now a media panel, which is based on households, but we aim to be reporting at 3,000 individuals of 6 years and older. And we want to extend this to 5,000. We also want to measure all the devices of all individuals in the households and report on it. The measurement is based on a software meter. that really captures, identifies the panelists every time they are launching a web browser or an app. And then we identify these panelists from the census measurement. Last element I want to talk about is data integration. This is an hybrid model who first looks at the census data and the profile data we have from the online panel and just calibrate this to the census to fuse then with the TV panel, the CIMM panel, and to provide a total total video measurement. So we will have two totals, the online video audiences and the total measurement. And the planning is to do so in next autumn and to be reporting on the total video from the beginning of next year. So my time is almost up, but I want just to show you all the elements of this project that I think you can sum up in one word, which is complexity. There are a lot of issues in terms to explaining such a complicated model to the market. There are also issues in terms of privacy and complying with the rules in the Netherlands. And we are also encountering a lot of issues on working together with a lot of suppliers and new partners. So I think this is good. There are ways to work with it, but I think you may say that this is a complex project. So that's all for me. Thank you very much. I couldn't go in detail of a lot of things, but if you have questions, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. I'm very happy to participate to this session on multiscreen measurement, as all around the table, all around the theater, in different countries are confronted to the same issue for audience measurement. The same issue is multiscreen. Mediametrie is developing for France TV, radio, and internet audience currency. And I would like to share how we will manage the move from audience per screen to an audience on multiscreen. In France, as in many countries, we are more and more devices per household and more devices connected, which means that we are more and more contact and daily contact with media, around 44 per day. And it's increasing year per year. Of course, our audience measures are moving every year. We are working with the media industry to update the digital and the TV audience measure. Last year, I have a chance to present how we move from digital per screen measurement to a global digital for internet. So internet now is ready on a global internet free screen measure on computer, tablet, mobile, and last year it was per device. And that's the same for TV. We move from TV on live plus replay and VOSDAL to live plus replay plus catch-up on TV screen last year. It was on the currency since October 2014. But the next frontier for us will be to measure TV on 4 screen. That's the same issue as in Germany and Netherlands. So we will use, to go deeper, a single source panel developed in partnership with Google to give the ability to include TV measurement on 4 screen. Which is this panel? This panel is based on 3,400 households. It means close to 9,000 individuals, and we measure on all these individuals TV usage, computer usage, tablet usage, and mobile usage. And this panel has been increased since the beginning of this year by 500 more households recruited by Mediametrie to increase the quality of the tool. How does it work? For TV measurement, we use people meters as for the TV currency with a remote control for individual measurement. The technique is the same as the TV currency, so we have results which are very close to the TV currency. On internet, we use a router which provides the ability to connect all devices to Wi-Fi connection, This router includes a splash screen for individual measurement on computer and tablets. For mobile, it's of course an individual device. It means that the three screens connected to internet are measured. Of course, measured at home through Wi-Fi. Which are the French media industry benefits? We provide three kinds of benefits for the industry. First of all, the multiscreen behavior measurement, to understand which is the multiscreen behavior at home. It's the first time that we could learn the multiscreen behavior not only on claim, but on real behaviors. The second benefits will be on TV plus web advertising campaign, and the third benefits will be to increase and to prepare the TV multiscreen audience measure. Some example that we learn in terms of multiscreen behaviors. On one day, in average, we learn that we have 31% of individuals which are in the same day TV viewers and internet users, 5% are only internet users, and 45% are exclusive TV viewers. TV is not so weak, and that we read sometimes in different papers. But this is some key learnings. Another kind of learning is in multitasking. Multitasking, of course, is increasing day after day. But we measure in an average day that multitasking is concerning around 18% of individuals. Of course, it depends on the age, on demographics, and level of income, but it's a strong figures. And the duration of multitasking behaviors in France is around 38 minutes per day. It means that for multitasker, it represents 47% of internet duration for one day, in average, and 40% of TV duration in one day, in average. Of course, this figure is different depending to the demographics and depending to the individual. This is the first kind of benefits. The second benefits for us is to increase the quality of TV plus web advertising campaign measurement. Last year, we launched cross-media ratings, cross-campaign ratings, which give us the ability to measure TV plus web advertising campaign, the incremental reach of internet in comparison with a TV campaign, the incremental frequency, etc. And to build this kind of measure, we use, of course, the two currency, Mediamat, the TV currency, Nielsen OCR for the internet currency, and we joined these two currency based on a cross-media, but also the single source panel to provide real duplication and campaign. So it's an example of the fact that the single source panel is useful, even if the measure is not done directly on the single source panel. And the third benefits will be to reach this new frontier, which will be the TV for screen measurement. And we will use, of course, the single source panel, but not only, because we plan by the end of this year to create a monthly TV audience measure for TV channel on 4 screens to measure TV ratings audience on TV, on computers, on tablet, and smartphone, using the Mediamat, which is the TV currency in France, using online video measurement on internet for the free screen, and we have implemented this new measure, which is based on a panel, but also on census size-centric streaming data. And the link between both measurements is based on data fusion, but also on single source tool. Because based on the single source tool, we will use the real duplication for each channel between the TV, the site, the apps for tablet and smartphone to create the link between the two measurements. So it's a mix between data fusion and single source measure. So in terms of conclusion, we are on the way to deliver by the end of this year a TV 4-screen audience measurement. TV measurement need to move to include the new usage, which are more and more for young people on tablets, on smartphones, on computers, of course for live, but also for catch-up, for replay. And we need to be pragmatic, to use the best between data fusion and single source, and to include also, to increase the quality of the granularity, external data, for example, return pass data for TV, but also site-centric data, census data for online video or logs for mobile. But the panel is still the core and the center of the process. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hello everybody. Just let me explain a few words from what the AGOF does and what it is. We are a consortium for online media research, and we combine all leading German online marketers. We have 18 of them right now as our members. And we have a standardized reach currency, which is called the unique user. And we also provide comprehensive usage data for the digital media. And this is how the online media planning is done in Germany. We are the source who provide the transparent advertising media planning for all the digital channels. Yeah. What's going to happen on smart TV? I've been to an event in Germany, and there was Jürgen Blomkamp talking, which is the global chief investment officer of Group M, and they hold a lot of money which they spent on all different media channels. And he said, linear TV will not die overnight, but the business model will go through dramatic changes. That was one thing he said. And the other thing he said, in the area of moving pictures, we will soon have programmatic platforms everywhere in front of us. Well, we are mainly dealing in the display advertising world, but nevertheless, we have to look at all digital channels where advertising is delivered. So we had to look at smart TV because it's now has a market reach which is quite significant. We have about 20 million devices sold in Germany which are smart TV capable, and the last figures of GfK, they said that 16 million of them are already connected to the internet. So what we face now is increased demand from clients and agencies for transparent and relevant planning data, because ads are also delivered on TVs. And what it says, only the delivery of relevant KPIs based on target group data will be an adequate basis for media planning on smart TVs regarding our online medium. What did we face when we first looked at the smart TV universe? It was highly fragmented. You have the browser world, that's HTML, CSS. Then you have a lot of different TV producers, and they use a lot of different operating systems. Normally, when we look at desktop or mobile, okay, we have Windows, Mac OS, and on mobile we mainly have iOS and Android, and that's it. And so it's quite easy in terms, but when you look at smart TV, it's huge, it's largely complicated. You have WebOS, you have Tizen, Linux, Android. Google announced that they will have a Google OS, Google TV OS for TVs. And then you have HBB TV, so you have 3 channels. You have the apps, you have the browser usage, and then you have HBB TV. And that's something we don't face on other classical online media, how to say. So, combined, they have a relevant distribution. It's highly fragmented. We have a lot of different players and manufacturers. We tried to talk to them, but they weren't really helpful to us. So we had to look on our own how our measurement would work on their devices. and we have lots of different data sources. The ads are delivered to the internet TVs and the set-top boxes onto multiple channels. And our goal is to measure across all digital channels. My colleague Jürgen will tell later how we combine all those data. So we want to establish an industry-wide accepted online measurement currency for the digital campaign planning and trading in Germany. Like I mentioned, the unique user. And so our goal was not to produce a new measurement for smart TV, but to extend our current measurement on these devices. And this should be a blueprint on how we may proceed on other devices, like, for example, connected cars. We don't know what's coming. Fridges talking to us, I don't know. So the idea was extension of the measurement model on the connected TVs, coverage of the standard advertising formats in the market. That's what we face today. The same measurement KPIs as in the AGOF Internet Facts and Mobile Facts. So we have a compatibility across all our studies, and this to be integrated as an additional building block into the measurement universe. So this is how the AGOF studies work. We have 3 segments: electronic measurement, that's on browser basis. We have a script which is integrated in all sites which are under measurement. The second one is an on-site survey. So we basically gain social demographic data and about the online usage situation. So we have a link to our telephone baseline survey. We interview about 120,000 people per year. And this is our main data source, and this we merge all together and we do a projection, and then the result of this is the digital facts. That's a database which is used from the German media agencies for the planning. So the electronic measurement must be capable to measure on the different platforms, also in the different distribution channels. And our telephone survey, which defines the German online universe, must integrate the smart TV clients. So we have a basis how we weigh all the data later on. And what was a really great conclusion that we had is our measurement technology, which we introduced last year. First, we had silo studies, which were separately, like desktop and mobile, and now everything runs in one source. And it's also able to work on the TV platforms we didn't know before, but it proved that it successfully produces data for us across all those operating systems and TV environments. And we could successfully create a unique client ID, which we use to store data locally on the device, so we know the client and what he does, and so we can attribute usage and everything on it. And our questionnaire technology also can be successfully modified to run on those TVs. So we need this on-site survey, on-screen survey to have the data so we can link to our telephone surveys. So smart TV can be integrated into the AGOF universe. That's really promising for the future. I will see how the fridges do in 2 years maybe here at the ICOM. So what are next steps? We have to adapt our on-screen questionnaire for the TV platforms, because you can't type in data on. You have to use the remote buttons. We have to modify our telephone survey, so we have the external weighting specifications, and we are eager to launch a prototype during 2015. So, and then this will all run into the digital facts. The smart TV has a new study branch, desktop computers, the mobile internet, and then the smart TV. But my colleague will later on tell you about our digital facts. Thank you very much.
innovations and partnership announced recently.
Thanks, Kate. Good afternoon, everybody. Buenos tardes, and thank you sincerely for still being here. It's my pleasure to be able to speak to you today about the comScore Kantar joint vision for introducing CIMM, cross-media audience measurement. When I say we in this presentation, just as a point of order, it means comScore and Kantar. So it's important for us to define what we mean when we talk about cross-media measurement, and I will do that shortly. Whatever tools and systems that we build, it's essential that they are sufficiently granular, immediate, and robust to meet the needs of both buyers and sellers. And that is becoming increasingly challenging because there are so many media vehicles and so many platforms to measure, and users require this information more quickly than ever before. Fortunately, I would argue that audience measurement is about 1,000 times more challenging today than it was 20 years ago. But fortunately, there is a toolkit for audience measurement providers to choose from. And it is essential that we use the right assets, right data assets, and the right methods as we build these solutions. So there's a disconnect between TV measurement and digital measurement. TV measurement, born 60 years ago, panel-based. Digital measurement, relatively new, relying on panels, but also on technology. Site tags, for example, census measurement. And for a long time, at the beginning of digital measurement, there were conversations about site-centric versus person-centric. The important thing as we build CIMM solutions is to bring these two together. As we will see, the schism between the two schools is not nearly as great as perhaps we might have feared. In practice, we could do a couple of things. We could collectively start blank slate, put a big blank sheet on the wall and say, how should we build the comprehensive cross-media solution? In practice, though, there are already digital assets from comScore in place and TV assets from Kantar in place that the industry, the ecosystem is relying on today to plan, buy, and sell media. So what is going to happen is we're going to begin with TV measurement, or TAM, and extend or reach out toward digital. Now, why is that? There's a very pragmatic reason. TV, like print, is recognizing that the medium is no longer confined to the device. So you don't have to have a TV to watch TV. So as TV measurement struggles to continue to comprehensively measure all the TV usage, TV is looking towards bringing in digital measurement. The TV JICs, the TV currency systems, are beginning to expand in the direction of digital, and since that's what's happening in the marketplace, that's what's going to happen with us. So what's TV? Basically we think about TV or TV measurement as linear TV and catch-up TV, consumed on a television, either live or on demand or with some delay. Of course, we have a general sense of what digital is. Digital is sites, apps, and video content consumed on phones, tablets, computers. At comScore, we consider OTT, over-the-top television, Roku, Apple TV, for example. We consider OTT to be a digital medium as well, and we will be including it in our digital video measurement. OTT comes into the house through the Wi-Fi, and it can be tagged. So essentially, that makes it a digital medium. The first step for us in moving from TV measurement to CIMM is to go to what we call extended TV. And in extended TV, what we're doing is we're bringing in linear and catch-up TV, consumed not just on televisions, but on digital devices. So consumed on phones, tablets, computers, and OTT devices. The next step, which I think some of my colleagues up on here on stage spoke about, is to go to total video, which brings in the native digital video content. For example, YouTube, Hulu, House of Cards on Netflix. And then finally, the whole picture, the whole panoply of consumption, where we will bring in all the digital for what we call total view. Jane is going to talk in a moment about Blueprint in the US. And in the US, this is what we offer today, is a total CIMM solution. In that case, we as comScore. So I talked about the two cultures, TV and digital. This is a sort of an allusion to the schism between the humanists and the scientists. Simon, you know what I'm talking about, right? You do, I know you do. So you and Paul, good, that's two. So here the two cultures are TV measurers and digital measurers, but I'm happy to tell you that we are more alike than different. So let's look at the path that we've gone down in the digital measurement space. We started, as television measurement started, panel-centric, person-centric, with people panels. Then we recognized that we needed to introduce site-centric census measurement. There's the opportunity to reconcile panel and server data, integrate the two. And so hybrid solutions, or at comScore, we call that unified measurement, began to hold sway. And then we recognized that once we were tagging, then instead of tagging websites, we could tag ad campaigns. And now we have the opportunity to measure an ad campaign as an entity, just like we measure a media vehicle as an entity, and that became very exciting. Then we realized that once we were measuring ad campaigns, panel measurement became insufficient, at least by itself, to provide demography. So we moved to a realm of census, or I think of it as cookie demography. At comScore, we do that through a Bayesian technique, where we model the demographics at a cookie basis based on both our partner demography, so third parties like Yahoo will inform us on the demography for a specific cookie. And then we're also able to look at the behavior that we see that cookie exhibit, the sites that cookie has visited across the comScore census network, and all of that tells us about the likelihood of the demography of that cookie. So let's look at TV. Of course, TV started with panel-centric measurement. As TV begins to extend towards extended TV or reach out towards digital, as I said earlier, there are different ways we can do that. We can put meters, digital meters on the devices in TV households, TV panel households. We can tag TV content on digital platforms so that we can measure it and bring it into the extended TV measurement. We can build single source panels where we measure TV and digital from the same households from scratch. The most exciting thing here is the router, or for my European colleagues, the router panel, or what I've come to think of as the total home panel, where you're able to measure through putting a meter on the router all the digital consumption on all the computers, phones, tablets, OTT devices, gaming consoles, and presumably thermostats and refrigerators in the household. Imagine now if you could overlay TV meters in those same households. Now you have a data asset that gives you an unprecedented look at cross-screen consumption of the same persons on a household-by-household basis. That becomes an extremely powerful asset for building your CIMM solution. And of course, TV has its own version of census data, which is RPD, return path data, or set-top box data. Now, down here, when we talk about tagging, one of the immediate benefits that comScore and Kantar will be able to bring to market is the opportunity for our mutual clients in the television space to deploy a single set of tags to have their assets tracked in all the Kantar television measurement systems and the comScore digital measurement systems, which will facilitate participation in the CIMM solutions as they become rolled out. So TV and digital are really not so different after all. You know, for a long time, as a digital person, I heard we have to make digital look more like TV to the advertiser. And the funny thing is that while that was happening, TV was turning into a digital medium after all. So Kantar and comScore combined, you can see on the left the comScore map, and on the right, the red marks denote where Kantar has television measurement. Obviously, the first places that we can begin to bring CIMM solutions are the countries in which we both offer services. We will be beginning in Spain with extended TV in the fourth quarter of this year, hopefully building throughout the chart till we get to full digital. But we're not limited to bringing this solution to markets in which both companies offer measurement right now. We would welcome an invitation from any country to come in and talk about building a solution, a CIMM solution for TV and digital. So, just to give you a tidy conclusion, we're moving collectively from television audience measurement, starting there, and moving to cross-media audience measurement, facilitated by a unified set of tags so we can track the content through all screens. And we're able to do this across a global footprint. And the result is a total view of the consumer. Bang, spot on.
Perfect, Josh. Thank you for coming in on time. I think everybody will appreciate that this afternoon. Now we've got Jane Clarke's going to give a perspective from CIMM in the US. Jane.
That's the forward one. So at the last minute, I switched from a moderator to a presenter because we had some results from our cross-platform measurement pilot test with comScore, also known as Project Blueprint in the US, that we just received last week. And so we thought it might be a treat to share those. So for anyone who does not know, CIMM is a, let's see, oh, we'll get all this here. CIMM is a coalition of the TV-based media buyers, the media buying agencies, and a handful of large advertisers, also now including the Association of National Advertisers, the ANA, in the US, and we're working to push for solutions in cross-platform measurement. Particularly, we've been focused on the measurement of unduplicated reach across platforms. And so we put out RFPs, we put out some criteria that we've been talking to the industry about that we believe are the way to move this forward, and we've been conducting pilot tests. So in the US, Nielsen is the television currency, and they're moving ahead to make progress with a panel-based solution for television, and they're using a hybrid measurement system in digital. But we really felt that it was important to push for hybrid across all platforms, given that we have a lot of return path data in the US. And so we worked on this pilot test with comScore, where we're able to do live TV, adding in the time shifted via the DVR, adding in the desktop or laptop, smartphone, tablet, radio, and moving in the future, they'll be moving to over-the-top and TV VOD, as you heard from Josh. Now, the devil's in the details when you get to cross-platform measurement, and you can hear it from all of the presenters all around the world. The tricky part is the deduplication and how you do that. Do you have some sort of fusion or calibration or single source panel? So basically, the solution in the US is a combination of a lot of two-way and three-way assets that comScore has combined with a five-way calibration panel. And the five-way is TV, radio, smartphones, tablets, and computers, and the media are television or video, audio, and text or web-based or interactive content. And so essentially they have access to what used to be the Arbitron PPM, the portable people meter television radio panel. There's also some comScore overlap panels with desktop smartphones and tablets. And they have a relationship with set-top box providers where they're able to actually overlay at the household level comScore panel versus the television panel. So through these various two-way and three-ways, you're able to get at the deduplication. Just the data that I'm going to show you, it's old right now, but we're actually getting more current data as we speak here. It's persons 18 to 49. When you see digital right now, it means desktop plus smartphones plus tablet. And here, basically, we have the video plus the web. We don't have all the audio, although I think there's one slide where I have some radio. And what you're going to see is we did this for essentially across 11 media companies. So many of you have heard about this data from ESPN. What the CIMM pilot test was to extend it across 11 more different types of content. So from moving from sports into more entertainment and news-based content. And also, we have 3 cross-platform ad campaigns that are being measured, and I don't have that data to share with you today yet. So you can start to see the data are really fascinating when you actually start to finally get to look at these data. So you can see here how they vary by the different cable networks, that you can have some that have a very strong TV only, some that have very strong digital only, surprising, and then the overlap amongst them. So you can see how there's a lot of variation here. This is the example of a broadcast network where the big purple, whatever that blue box at the bottom, 86% is TV only. You can see how they can gain reach with digital. This is actually looking at minutes. So that first one was gaining reach through audience. This is actually gaining minutes through rating time. So this is a cable network starting with live TV, gaining 2% through DVR, gaining 15% through the digital platforms. This is a broadcast network. A lot of the broadcast networks have even more time shifting going on, so they're gaining 23% through the DVR, adding the DVR, and 7% through the digital platforms. And this one is the radio example that I mentioned, where you can see that Live Plus 7 on TV, they gain almost 20% by adding in radio. This is a way we've also started looking at this in the US. A lot of times you hear complaints now that the networks are not really able to monetize their full reach because it's not all being added together. So here you can see that there's two broadcast examples here. I'll just put them both up and you can see them all. You can see that what happens in the first show, that you have a 2 rating with Live Plus 7 day. You add in Live Plus 3 days and you get to a 3 rating, and then you add in Live Plus 7 plus the digital platforms, and you have this incredible, 80% increase here, which is significant. And the same thing happens in the other example. So you can see that it's been an issue to be missing all of this from the media point of view. And I just have 2 last slides, and we can move into questions. Which just is to show that we're now able to look at data like this, across the whole, all the networks, and you can see that essentially, multi-platform users also use more TV. It's a little different in the digital world. It's not quite consistent that, multi-platform users are always using more digital. So this is just like incredible that we're actually getting data. We're really pleased, and I think we should just move on to questions.
Okay, thanks, Jane. That's great. I'll start with just a couple of observations and then move to some questions. The first one, I love the chart that Mariana showed, which had all of the logos of all of the research companies, and that struck me as the one place where a JIC can be helpful, to see Kantar, TNS, Nielsen, comScore, and GfK all on the same chart, all working together. I don't know that would ever happen in many other countries, but it was great to see that, and we would love more of that collaboration. And then the second one, nobody mentioned earned views of video. I look at some of the campaigns that our clients run and think about when we're measuring them post-campaign and looking at the impact on sales, and some of them might be 50% of their views coming from earned video. So I think, as we think about 2016 and what challenges we might face, that might be another big part of what we want to try to measure. And I'm sure if we can tag them, we can easily measure them, so it shouldn't be too much of a stretch. If we start with some questions, I have one question for everybody. Out of the things that you've seen today, which is the one thing that sparked an idea that somebody else has presented that you would find useful in your country? Jane, we'll start with you, because you've probably seen quite a few of these before, and give the others time to think.
We want the router meter, as everyone here calls, I've learned this week, the router meter. I'm very much looking forward to that. So I was really interested that Mediametrie has been able to have some progress with that in France.
Right. Yes, thanks. I think we are all on the same way to move to TV for screen measurement. This is for AGOF, this is for SKO. I think the BARB in UK and MMS in Sweden have also done a very great job. I think in Europe, all the JIC, the main TV JIC, are moving to prepare the for-screen measurement. For us, for Mediametrie, we will be ready by the end of this year. Of course, the router techniques is an help, and the single source panel is an help, but it's not the sole data that we include to build it. It's based also on the currency, TV currency on one side, video internet currency on the other side.
Yes, what I just share the opinion of Laurent, because I think we are all on the same path and we have different elements on this path. I found really interesting against the router solution and how you can apply this to examine overlap, especially on the TEM panel, and what the possibilities are also for including the connected to smart TV there.
Okay.
So, of course, so, of course, I would echo the sentiments of my colleagues, which is that we're all working from the same toolkit. The one thing I would comment on is that, and this is not a comScore Kantar comment, it's a US versus Europe or rest of the world comment, which is that there's one tool in the toolkit that I think is more prominent in Europe and elsewhere than in the US, and that's Fusion. Fusion as a technique for creating currency databases. We do some of it, but it's not as prominent in the US. So perhaps we should, as a country, Jane's nodding her head, perhaps we should be thinking more in the US about how we can introduce Fusion into some of our measurement products. Not we comScore, but we Americans.
Well, what I took away overall from this conference is that I think there is no global solution for all the problems that we are facing. There are always country solutions, and every country has to look what works for them best. And I saw great ways how to solve these problems. I was really impressed, and we in Germany, we do it our way, and you do it your way, and that's great.
For me, the presentations have shown that we are all facing similar challenges and using similar tools to solve them. And I think the biggest challenge is to find the right combination between all the methods available. And one thing really struck me, I remembered what Simon was saying yesterday, TV, no, it's video. So, and I think we have to move forward to find the right combination of all the tools available and to combine the best expertise available in the market for all these things.
Yeah, good feedback from everybody. I think those were good. One thing that I would urge us all in the industry to do would be to start to standardize some of the ways that we talk about these things. There's so many different words that we're using for essentially the same things, and that would be a great help. And even then, we might move to pronouncing them the same way. But if we start with the first word, that would be, I think, very helpful. And then, again, standardize some of the techniques as well, because it is a mixture of different panels and census-based data, and then in different integration techniques. So we are all facing the same problems. I'd like to open up to the floor for questions now. We have one there. And stand up and say where you're from when you've got the mic.
We don't have time for a lot of questions, as we did fit an extra presentation in there, so probably we could just take one question. Is that okay?
ACR, automatic content recognition.
Yeah, people mentioned it but called it something else, so I think that reflects the point I mentioned earlier. Content recognition and fingerprinting were the way people have used it. Do we have time for one or no? No more?
No, I think
okay.
We'll be
She's very
strict.
She's very strict.
So thanks very much, Kate and Jane and the panelists. That was a really super panel.